Hello YouTube, my name's Michelle and I am from a little state right at the bottom of Australia called Tasmania. Today I'm going to bring you down a little bit some of my projects that I've been working on and a little bit of a chat and talk about some things I'm planning on in the future. So it's a very weird day here today and I came out earlier and the sun wasn't bright enough and everything was pixelated. Now the sun's a little bit too bright, so I will bring things closer so that you can see them. Sorry about the trucks going past in the background. I live right on a very busy truck route, which isn't much fun, but never mind. So today, things I am working on. Now, I don't think I have any finished projects to show you. I have a few that are almost finished and a few that are nowhere near. I am currently working on, and you may have seen this already, some English paper piecing hexagons. So these are inspired by the lovely Kate from the last homely house. There's a little bit more of a closer view. So they're nicely cut hexagons all sewn together. Well, actually they're tacked with fabric first. You tack them over the hexagons, cut little squares, tack the hexagons, and then you stitch them all along. So I've stitched them all into long lengths like this, and now I'm just attaching them all together. Once I've finished attaching them, then you take the tacking stitches out and pull out the little cardboard hexagons. So it's pages from a children's book, so it's nice and it's solid but flexible, so that you can bend and squeeze to get around all the tight corners. Sorry. So I only have this many hexagons in these colours. I did look for more fabric. This is like 1960s, maybe 70s Sheridan sheet fabric from Australia, I think. And I had some scraps, but I couldn't find any in similar colours or anything that would go. I tried maybe, doing every second hexagon a plain, one of those colours. That didn't work either. I liked it like this. So rather than making a quilt, I maybe could have made a baby quilt, but not much point here. I am going to make a very special tote bag. So that's the hexagons so far. I have loads more to stitch together. Making slow progress, slowly but surely. I am also working on, or just begun work on, learning to crochet again. I crocheted quite a bit 20, 30 years ago, maybe. I used to crochet blankets and things. Back when I had a lot more time, I guess. Only had a couple of kids. Now I have 6. Most are grown up, but do they ever grow up? So I've been learning to crochet again, and I've seen this beautiful Battenberg blanket pop up all over the internet. The lovely Yana from Finished Knitting Stories. She's been doing a Battenberg blanket, and she's just announced a make-along. So you have 12 months to make a scrappy blanket. Now, I've started off making scrappy squares, but of course, I also dye yarn with natural colours, so I have a bunch of yarn up on the windowsill over there, which I was hoping to get out today. It's been cooking in the sun for a couple of months now, and I was hoping to get it out today and give it a rinse, but it's very misty, showery out there today. So not a great day for drying wool. Sorry. So I am planning after I get a lot better at these Battenberg squares, I'll make something small with these bright coloured ones. But I am planning to make the actual blanket with the natural shades of wool that I've been dyeing with things like gum leaves and onion skins and berries and all sorts of things. I know some of them aren't colour fast, but it's for me, so I don't mind. So these are some of my Battenberg squares. I think they're called, what are they called? They are a form of granny square. They do have an actual name. It escapes me, of course. So these are just some scrappy bits that I pulled apart, some squares. They've got some really nice colours in them. Nice bright colours, which normally isn't me, and they're a bit brighter than the camera's showing. But I thought, you know, something nice and scrappy to throw over the back of the couch. I think I like this colour the most. It's like a mustard with little specks of green and red and orange. Yeah, so that's the squares, and you make about 500,000 of those. Seems like it. I think it works out. Hang on. 30, 40, about 50. Doesn't seem enough, but anyway, we'll see how it goes. So you make about 50 of these squares, half in colour, half in plain. So I'll leave the white wool just natural for the others, and connect them all together when you finish. That's going to be the fun part. Anyway, so that's the Battenberg squares, or yeah, they're granny squares, but yes, I'm not sure of the actual name. Also, I have made quite a bit of progress on the plain garter stitch scarf I'm making for charity. So I've been going to a knitting group once a week in Somerset in Tasmania, and a bunch of girls. There haven't been any boys so far, but maybe one day. A bunch of girls sit together and chat for a couple of hours and knit for charity. So some of the ladies are knitting squares to then put together into a blanket. One lady is crocheting huge rugs in a circular pattern. Other ladies are doing other things, and it's all for charities in Tasmania. And it's done through the Vinnie's Hub, but these aren't going to the charity shop to be then sold, which I'm very pleased about. Sometimes people just can't afford things at charity shops anymore. They've got quite expensive. These are going to places like the hospital and homeless shelters and things to keep people warm. I donated a couple of little pairs of slippers and a beanie for a baby last week, and if you're wondering why my arms are moving, I'm knitting. So it seems like a pretty good cause. They have all the supplies. They've had so many donations recently of knitting needles and crochet hooks and wool and all sorts of things. So you just go there, get a set of needles, get a ball of wool, and start knitting. And I think it's great. And look, I have so many things at home. Sometimes I like to do something with my hands, but I don't want something. So it's nice to sit and knit something and give it to someone else. I'm not a experienced knitter. Haven't really knit any fantastical garments, beautiful jumpers and shawls and things. I have knit a few simple shawls. So it's not like something I need, so I don't mind sitting and knitting and chatting and giving it to someone else who needs it more than I do. So that's that's the shawl. So I've just done stripes and things in various neutral colours. So this could be easily for a man or a young boy. And I'm just going till I run out of wool. So that's the shawl. Okay, scarf, sorry. Now, what else are we doing? Okay, I have been journaling. Now, you may have seen a little bit about my journaling in a previous episode where I made this simple journal. So it's a stitched covered journal. Sorry. So you take an A4 size envelope and then you stitch fabric all over. And little embellishments. I'm planning to add some beads to this piece. This one's fairly simple. I've got a pocket here with a couple of more things I'm planning to put in the pages. We didn't do any dye on these pages or colours, so I'll do that as I go along. It was just our simple introduction. So that was that one. The next week we went along and I made another one, and we collected some lovely bits and pieces of papers that the teachers dyed with food dyes and tea stains and things. So little songbooks and doilies and lots of pretty bits of paper to add to the journals. And this is my next journal. So this is the second one. So I did the cover last week, and then Saturday just gone I put the pages in. So we have all the nice dyed pages, pretty things. This is handmade paper envelope. Still got the little pieces of flower petals. Some of those doilies in between the pages. What's the centre? In the centre there's a nice mandala. So yeah, this was the next one we made. And then the other day, on Saturday, the teacher showed us how to add this lovely dangly piece, and it's like a little hole. You punch a hole in the book cover and put through one of those split pins and hang danglies. So that was quite nice. Inside cover, just got a little brooch pin there. So we're still adding to them. We popped the corners on, and I just added this dangly thing from a hook. So we're still adding bits and pieces as we go. So that's on every Saturday. I haven't been able to make it to every week, but I'm just going at my own pace. This is a lovely necklace. She asks you to take a piece from her stash, put on your journal, so that will go on something somewhere. And I also popped into the local penny pinchers op shop in Somerset, and I picked up this beautiful envelope, which we'll make a show somewhere. It's the Chinese classical poetry postage stamps pictorial. I always loved the Chinese kind of artwork as a kid. Do you remember those bamboo hangings we used to all have that rolled up? I used to have lots of those. Don't know whatever happened to them. Also grabbed a packet of stamps, so that will make a show in one of the journals somewhere. She also had all of these envelopes with stamps. So ships and some vintage stamps. This one, Australian folklore. Charles Sturt's Exploration. Sorry, they're all backwards. To get the idea. Another vintage ladies. Another ship one. So we, add bits and pieces to one of the journals as I go along. Before I show you my last whip, work in progress, I'll talk about a few things I'm planning to make. I'm spinning some alpaca, or have spun some alpaca for a client. I also have another bag there, another blanket to spin, which I've been very slack and haven't gotten onto, so I really need to get that going. Also inspired by, who was it? Oh yes, Yana at Finished Knitting Stories. She knit a lovely little bunny for her daughter and then popped it in a little kid's suitcase with knitted clothing, like outfits. I'd love to do that for my two granddaughters. So I'll be keeping my eye out for any little simple knitting patterns. If you know of any, send me a link or the name of the patterns and I'll check them out. I'm also still planning to decorate my linen dress and denim jacket with some pretty lace, or actually this would be beautiful as a lining, but it has another home, or something similar to that. And I'm still trying to find a day at home, so busy, to dye some more cotton fabric to make pajagi curtains. So that's also an idea I got from Kate at the last Homely House. So you should really check her out. She's got an amazing channel. She's in England and she does some wonderful things. I've also got plans to make her little cushion covers, which I downloaded the pattern from her shop. And I'd like to work on 100, the 100 project, and make some stampeding horses or a flock of sheep or something to that effect. As I go down this list, it's less important. So they're just there as I go. So the last thing I want to show you, so this is going to be quite a short little podcast. I popped into my local Spotlight store and I picked up this lovely yarn yesterday. It's very hard to see the change of colours. So it's called Abbey Road Wool to be Wild, and it's in the colourway Earthy. Made in Italy, 52% merino, 48% acrylic. So I grabbed 4 balls of this. Apparently we need 400 grams for what I'm working on. Excuse me. Now what I'm working on is something I've seen on YouTube, another make-along. Now I do watch Evie. Evie is a spinner and knitter and weaver, and she's teamed up with Shannon Makes, and they are doing Cape Timber. So Cape Timber make-along. Normally Cape Timber is a sewing make-along, but this year they've opened it up to knitting, crochet, weaving, etc. Anything you want to do. So I have had this Outlander knitting book for, a good 12 months. I think I showed it in an earlier video, and I haven't made anything yet. I have started on the shawl on the front, but I made a mistake and shoved it in a bag, as you do. But for this make-along, I'm going to attempt the Gathering Capelet, which is based on the cape that, oh my goodness, I can't think of a name, the main character wears in the Outlander series. So, I can remember Jamie's name. That's terrible. So here it is, the Gathering Capelet. So I'm going to attempt, as I sneak around the corner here, attempt this one. I got a little bit excited. I only bought the wool yesterday. And I got a bit excited, and I've already completed the collar, and it's not September yet, so that's a little bit naughty. But these are the beautiful earthy colours so far coming from that lovely wool. It's a little more burnt orange in real life. It's coming out a little bit pale here, but it's lovely so far. And the collar's in seed stitch. And then it looks like the rest is in knit purl, stocking stitch, and then a binding of seed stitch again. So I'm very excited by that, and I need to put it down and wait for September to finish the rest. Now, of course, if you don't finish in September, Capetember becomes Cloaktober. I love these names, they're so cool. So that is on my needles at the moment, amongst a few other things. My daughter and I are going to be attending a little market, a local market, on Saturday at Ridgely, at the Ridgely Community Hall. So we'll be taking our indigo dyed clothing and our eco print cards and things like that along. So that should be fun. Oh, and we completed the shelving system for the eBay items. I grabbed some tubs yesterday that should fit nicely on the shelves, so that will all look a lot tidier in the next video, I hope. But it's doing fine for now. Also on Sundays we're at the Penguin Undercover Market, selling all of our handmade goods, and I think that's about it for today. I have another project. I have another upcoming project or thing I want to make, and I just got a text message from Australia Post to say my parcel is in. But you might have to wait till next time to see what I've been doing. No, I'll give you a hint. I've ordered a Cyanotype Kit. I saw an interesting tutorial, on YouTube with Morgan Donner, I think her name is, Donner. She sews historical clothing, but she used cyanotype and leaves on a beautiful dress. I might not go that far straight up, but I might make some nice new cards for the shop. So we will be having some fun with that. If we ever get a really nice sunny day, you need strong sunlight, not cloudy, and it's a little bit, out there today. It's nearly spring. We should be able to get some of these things done very, very soon, but I'm impatient. But yeah, so that's all of my news and stories and things. You can find me on Facebook as Hawthorne Grove. There are a few other pages popped up with the same name recently, so that's a bit awkward. You can also find us on Instagram as Hawthorne Grove 71. Gee, memory's terrible. YouTube, of course. Sorry. And at markets and things, I also have a little eBay store where I sell secondhand books and clothing. I might start selling my crafts on there as well soon. The markets just aren't doing very well at the moment. Sorry, and what else? So, if you'd like to see more little chats and stories from me, sometimes the kids are in the background, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and give me a comment on anything you think you'd like to see. And as I said before, some interesting little, fairly easy knitted animal tutorials, patterns or something. I'd love to take a look. Okay, well, bye for now. I have to head to town and pick up my post, and that's going to be very exciting. And I'll talk to you all again very soon. Bye.